Hi, this is Majinoni, and I thought I'd take a look at part two to DC's relaunch, and we're going to be looking at the Justice League and Young Justice line. Now, the Justice League here, it's written by Jeff Johns and illustrated by Jim Lee. So, I mean, if you really think about it, this book is a non-fail. This thing is going to sell through the roof, and there's absolutely no way this thing is going to not be the #1 title, at least for the first couple months. Now, what's going to happen though is this is going to be like a mini series retelling the origin of one of the origin stories of the Justice League that's never been told before because they've never done that, which I think is wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I seem to remember a mini series that came out years ago where it was the big formation of the Justice League. They lived in the cave thing, and I remember them fighting some people were turning into trees, and they had an alien invasion, and there was a concentration camp for all the humans, and the heroes had to band together, and I thought that was supposed to be the beginning of the Justice League, but, I could be wrong. Anyways, this is what DC should have been doing from the very beginning. They should never have given us Dick Grayson, Donna Troy, Kung Grill, or whatever his name was. That is what a recipe for fail. That's like putting in the Avengers. I want the Great Lakes Avengers in the Avengers. It just doesn't work. So this book, as long as they have these characters and this creative team, will be a top tier book for DC. We know that's not going to happen. Jim Lee's going to leave probably after the initial run of the retelling of the story, which is 5 or 6 issues, and then once Jeff Jones leaves, that's it. This book is going to sink out of the top 10 faster than you can say you suck. Now the only thing, of course, that's going to save it is, of course, they put another top tier team on there, but DC seems to fail at putting top tier people on the Justice League, so we'll see what happens. Next up is Justice League International. As you can see, you just can't get enough of Batman. So, you got Batman here, Booster Gold, the Vixen, Rocket Red Fire, Guy Gardner, Fire and Ice. So it's kind of like a mix of the old and the new. I don't know why they felt... Okay, I know why they put Batman in there, because they probably felt that, well, we need to have him in there to boost sales. But, to be honest with you, even though Dan Jurgens is writing it, and he normally he does a pretty decent job, the key thing with the Justice League is the family. Batman doesn't fit in this family very well. You got to have the core. To make this book successful, you need to have Guy, Fire, Ice, and Booster. You have those people there, you're solid. I mean, surprisingly, Captain Atom is missing, but as long as you have these people here, it's great. And I am disappointed that Blue Beetle isn't in this group, because I thought he added a lot to the team, and then it would have been a good way of promoting the character, putting him on like a Justice League title, because the new characters don't tend to last very long. I don't think. I mean, this will go for a while. I don't know how long it's going to last. I think it's going to depend on what they have in mind with the storytelling. Because for me, Justice League International works when they bicker, they fight, it has a lot of humor into it. But if you make it more like the Justice League, then I think it's just, now you're looking at a second string team. Next up is Aquaman with Jeff and who's Ivan Reis. And Aquaman's a character that DC just does not know what to do with. And as long as Jeff is on this book, it will sell. But I predict what's going to happen is you're going to see strong numbers, and then even if Jeff's still on the book, it's still going to dip. Because, I mean, really think about it, Jeff is spread out pretty thin with these books, and something's going to take a hit. And my guess is Aquaman's to me the title that's going to take the hit. Wonder Woman, I think Brian Azzarello is a fantastic writer. Nobody can write Wonder Woman. Nobody. I don't know how many times they're going to attempt to relaunch this book, but Wonder Woman will never be what one would consider a top tier book. They never know what to do with the character. Wonder Woman, while I like the character, she's so difficult to write because she's part mythology, she's part superhero title, and it's kind of like it doesn't tend to work well because when you focus on one, then you tend to alienate the other type, the other type of fan type thing. And for me, Wonder Woman seemed to always work better when she was dealing with the Greek gods and things like that. But that's just me. But Wonder Woman's not going to be a top tier book. I don't think it ever will be. And they're probably just going to keep it because they don't want to lose the license. And they're going to keep trying to make it a top tier book. Next up is Flash. I really don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Obviously I'm going to get the first issue, but there's something about the Flash that is a hit and miss for me. I think when the Flash has a solid writer on it, then I think the book is phenomenal. But if the writing is not solid, then it quickly bores me because you have the fastest man alive. How come he can't beat any supervillain, who doesn't have super speed? It's, in the blink of if he can travel around the world in a blink, before you blink your eye, then he should be able to, strip naked, tie up in the strongest rope and knots possible, dangling him over a pool of sharks before the guy can even do anything. Heck, the fact that he can probably create some sort of sonic boom that should be able to knock out the villain, but he never does. So that's why when my logic side of my mind reads Flash, I just can't grasp why he has such trouble with the villains. And I've read, I understand, they're the rogues, and the rogues are really powerful rogue people, but come on, it's ice. How come he can't run faster than that ice? I don't get it. Or even the boomerangs. How come he can't run faster than the boomerangs? How come he can't run before Captain Boomerang can't even pull the boomerang out? I just don't get it. Next up is Captain Atom. I don't think this is going to last. I don't think Captain Atom is a strong solo character. I think he works better as a support character. And the guy's too powerful. He's overpowered, and I just don't think he has what it takes to make it. And I don't think the fans are going to jump aboard on this one. Fury of Firestorm. How many times has Firestorm had the title? And how many times has it failed? I really don't think, as much as I really want Firestorm to last, I don't think it's going to. I don't care. You can put Gail Simone on it, but I don't think it has the strength to last long term. You might get a year, you might get 2 years out of it, but eventually, the chemistry between the characters are going to break down, or you're going to get a writer who just doesn't understand what to do with the character to make him interesting again, and then poof, it's done. And now, granted, Firestorm is a complex character. It's not like, granted, I'll word it this way: there's three ways you can write Firestorm. Poorly, like everybody else does. 2, you can write him intelligently, making creative uses of powers, interesting situations, and really put a lot of time, thought, and effort building up a strong rogues gallery that just can't be beaten easily through just, it takes a lot of effort to do it. Or turn it into a Dragon Ball type title. Massive power-ups, massive things blowing up, mountains collapsing, cities blowing up. That's the title I want. That's just me. If they did that, if they did the Fury of Firestorm Z, I would buy every issue and I would sing its glory. Green Arrow. Well, Green Arrow is another character that he's good and bad at the same time. If you notice, though, it almost looks like he doesn't have his, trademark beard, almost. But I can see it here. I've seen some pictures that didn't have it, so that kind of made me wonder. I like the concept of Green Arrow, but I really want to see Green Arrow with like Black Canary, or Green Arrow with Green Lantern or just something. I like him better with another character. And also, I also have a problem with the fact that he's got arrows with, sharp points, and he never kills anybody. Well, except unless your name is Prometheus. Aquaman. Oh, I'm gonna go back to this a little bit for a second. Green Arrow has the potential to last, but I don't know how long it's gonna last. I don't really see it in the long haul. The Savage Hawkman. Hawkman to me is an awesome type character. He's full of awesome sauce because he has big weapons, spikes, claws, and he's full of he has anger management issues, and I really appreciate that in a superhero. And here's another character that they really can't seem to write well because you can't have Hawkman with a club, for an example, beating up on the Riddler with a club full of spikes. And I understand that the Riddler isn't his villain, but you get the gist. It doesn't quite work out that well. I think you might get a year out of him. A year might be a little bit, might be, really nice in giving it that year. But traditionally, Hawkman doesn't last too long. Mr. Terrific. Mr. Terrific is a character that I really hope makes it. I would really like to see a character. This is a character that I think he has potential. Who we get a taste of him in JSA, but I don't think they've really given him the ability to shine. And this is a great way of, great opportunity for it. My thing though is I think it's a bit risky to give him a whole new series right from the beginning. I would like to have seen it maybe be a limited series first just to see how it's going to go and then build it up that way. I think what's going to happen is you'll have the JSA fans buy this, but I think that's going to be it. You're not going to find too many other people buying it because they don't, either A, they don't know, or B, they just don't care, or, I should say C, they just don't have the money because there's 52 other titles coming out and more coming out, more new titles being introduced after, like in October and stuff. DC Universe Presents. This is, I guess you can say, it's one of those spotlight type titles. I don't know, like sometimes they last a little bit of time, but I don't think you're going to get too long with it. Maybe a year if you're lucky. Now onto Young Justice. Teen Titans. This is going to last. I like the character designs. The Robin one kind of freaked me out a little bit, but I'm interested. I'm hoping this will work. For me, as long as the team chemistry is there, then I'm on board. And I think that the chemistry has been lacking the past several story arcs. I'm just looking at that one. Static Shock is another character I'd really like to see. I think Static Shock is a fresh. He's been around a while, but I think he's fresh, interesting, and I really want to see another character. I want to see new blood, and I'm really hoping and pulling for Static Shock. Hawk and Dove. I'd be surprised if we see issue 3 because it's going to be late. Blue Beetles, and I've already said my feelings on Blue Beetle. I like the concept. I want to see him succeed. I enjoyed Keith Giffen's story arcs when he first was introduced, and I hope it lasts, but I don't think it's going to. Legion of Superheroes. It has its niche, so it'll survive, but I don't think it's going to grow. And we have Legion Lost. This is all they did was they said, what can we do to try to get Legion popular again? Well, our Legion Lost story arc that was years ago was really popular. Let's do it again. So they're basically going to the well twice. I'm more interested actually in this one than this, but again, I don't think we're going to see too many new fans, but it's going to have its own little world, and that's where it's going to stay for the most part, in terms of fan base. So, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. I'm really curious to see what titles you guys are looking forward to the most out of these two, and I'll have the other ones later, so until next time.